All right, and I am live. Just make sure I'm getting out the other side here. I don't know if I am or not. How you doing, Beach? Just doing a sound check here. Hello, Sue. How you doing, Beach? Yep, looks good on that side. I'm an official Burgette today, huh? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jen, Sweetie Pie. How are you? Jackie Blue, Marie Duffy, Grandpa Jay. Nice to see you today. What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Shamaj, how are you doing, sweetheart? JK No Cow. JK, you did a great job on that owl. Nellen, good morning to you. Nocturnal Dennison. Hey Tiffy. Hope everything's going well. Yeah, I had a good night's sleep last night. Hello, Beryl. Hello, Jen again. Lee Wander. Nice to see you. Yeah, if you haven't checked out JK NoCal, this guy is really this guy defines handiness here on the Boyd. I never knew you had such an artistic flair in life, JK. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning to you. Hello. Beach is life. I wish the weather would make up its mind here. Hope it's all well. Yeah, it's good. We have a good afternoon, Spirit's Heart. We have a weather advisory for another wind event on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll see how it pans out. There were a lot of pissed off people last time we had one of these wind events, and PG&E, our gas and electric company, shut off power to some people for days and nothing really happened. So I know Southern California is ablaze. Allie Pally, how you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see you. Very nice to see you today. Yes, I finally broke out my official Bergs, got Bergs. I don't think Bergs' shirts ever look so good, huh? Hey, Cindy Lopez. Nice to see you, my girl. Hello, Celeste. Happy Tuesday to you, to one of the hardest working gals here on YouTube. I will probably be having a late night, have a couple of beers on the Rosie McNamara channel. Tonight, if you're not subbed up, make sure that you are there. We'll have a little fun. And then tomorrow, I go into Halloween mode. It kicks off the exciting time of year for me, holiday time. I don't know about you guys, but I just love the period Halloween till I'm not much on New Year's because it New Year's just ushers in those 3 months that I really don't enjoy. Nathan, how you doing, sweetheart? Those 3 months I really don't enjoy in NorCal, January, February, and March. And I kind of made a promise to myself this year that I would avoid that. Missy Jen is she's immune to weather, right? Weather doesn't bother her at all. Maybe it's growing up in Germany. Oh, thank you, Francis. Yeah, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that. I don't know how all you all feel about that. And no, it's like California. It took me a while to understand California's weather pattern. I'd never been to a place where it didn't rain for 9 months of the year, not one single day, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get slammed with rain. And it's depressing. I just don't like those. I don't like those months. Us across the pond are used to hard weather. Hey, Beryl. Yeah, I love the holidays. I donated away all my awesome. Oh no, Sarita. Yeah, there's my McNamara channel for this evening. I'll have some fun. Don't freak out if Marshall's on it. I know. Unplugged on there. So I'm going to be doing a little more work on the van, and then tomorrow is a work day on the rancho. Let's see. Beach says we started with Halloween decor and also to put up Christmas lights on the house before it starts snowing. Oh, look very luscious today. Thank you. You can thank Thank Bergs for the official Bergs. I think I have a Bergette shirt too. So I get seasonal affective disorder, and it's terrible. It's terrible for me. And I know Jen doesn't like to hear me complaining about weather, but I'm a very weather tuned in person. Um, in life, and last winter was just terrible. Now this might be a dry winter, I don't know. You can never really predict the El Nino, the La Nina, whatever those weather patterns will be. Yeah, babes are back in town. Yeah, um, so that's the story on that. So I would like to be out of NorCal. Now people will say, "Is Missy Jen happy that you're on the road?" She's happy if I'm happy. I'm happy if she's happy. Like I said, she's not one that ever seems to be adversely affected by weather. And when the sun doesn't shine, and it can go for periods of 2 weeks here where you don't see the sun for any single day. And as you guys know, I'm a very sun-driven gal. I enjoy being out in the outside. Can I have a kiss? Here you go. Mwah. Buddy Holly, excellent job on the door of the van. Thank you. I will be putting a daylight video once we trim it out, the butyl tape. It was a long night last night, 8 o'clock tonight. Reseating that screen was a very difficult proposition. Hey, Diane. Yeah, we're going to have 90s this week. Santa Rosa school's locked down. I don't know, shooter. Sounds like another day. How you doing, Tonto? Sounds like another day in Santa Rosa to me. Yeah, international travel. Really, good morning, Chris, my neighborhood gal here. Nice to see you. I am seriously considering that, as long as I have my temporary passport. Ridgeway student, I think. You looked really tired. Like I was really beat. I had no energy to come on today. Today I'm like a ball of fire on here. That's really as I did this morning. I'm an old bat now. It's age. There's no cheating. There's no cheating the age machine. And yesterday, that was like a 10 hour work event on that. And between procuring materials and doing cutting sheet metal, which I can't stand doing, with the snips and all that, and fashioning things, that's making sure things are leak proof. Yeah, there's no cheating breath. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. There is no. Have a great day. I'm baking cookies all day. Wow, good for you. Good morning. It's bright and sunny today. Enjoy it. I sure will. Thank you, Evil says, but Rosie, you still look good for your age. Be happy. I'm happy. There's 4 scores. Thank you. Nice to see you. And if you guys did not see the epic chooch we had with 6 people at one time on that chooch, which was a record breaker of YouTube's on there, highlighted by meeting 4 scores out there on the streets of Las Vegas. You look great no matter the age. I get feeling it though. Yeah, I mean, you always assume, I think, when you get older. Bella Rose, how you doing, sweetheart? The Queen of Buffalo. You always assume, yeah, hit that like button. You always assume that life is never going to change, and you're going to always be able to do the things physically that you've done all your life. And we know that's not the case. That's not the case. And as Marshall has discovered, I'm not a TV watcher here. I'm not. I do read occasionally. I get most of my information from YouTube videos if I'm interested in something. So yeah, that was a great shoot. That was an epic shoot. Survivor, how you doing, sweetheart? Been enjoying your lives? Yeah, I haven't done a morning one for a while. Hello, Kim C. Nice to see you this afternoon. I had not done one in a while, so I decided to have some coffee and not push it too hard today. You can't do that day after day, hammering on that kind of job. So you also need time to think and reflect on how you're going to do things coming up. whenever you're building for somebody, and JK NoCal will probably second this, they have ideas, but translating them into reality is a difficult process sometimes, and it's often a process that results in disappointment to them because you can't do the things. It's not because I'm not physically able, but because of the limitations of things. Um, they're saying school. Okay. Yeah, it was a great shoot you out there. Hey Sig, how you doing? Sig. It goes with the territory, Sig. If you're going to be funny and entertaining, and you have the broad passel of YouTube to work with this. Some of them, like me, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Diane. Some of them, for me, let's see, I always thought you hate black, so I was scared for years to talk to you. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm not quite sure what that means. I have quite a few, if you're talking about, you know, black people, I have quite a few black friends, and I grew up in a multiracial city of Baltimore. And through public schooling and all that, I learned how to get along with everybody. Yes, I love everybody. Oh, you probably walk 30 miles. Yeah. Let's see. So anyway, yeah, Halloween doing tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to putting up some decorations. That'll really kick me into high gear, and I really feel like Halloween is here. I love the nights get cool and crisp. We'll be, believe it or not, by I want to say Sunday, Monday, we'll be in the 30s at the nighttime and in the mid 70s in the daytime. So CNN says an isolated incident, no one injured, schools locked down for investigation only. That's cool. Did you spend a lot of time in Ocean City? I did. When I was growing up in Maryland, my family scraped together one week summer that we would go down to spend in Ocean City, Maryland. We stayed at a place on 41st Street. It was called the Coffin, Coffin, the Coffin Apartments. What a name for a place! But it was pretty fun. It was a good time. And then later in high school, I ended up working down in Ocean City, first for Phillips Crab House and then for Pappy's Pizza down there. I don't even think Pappy's is around anymore. I was a pizza spinner. You know, I can spin a pizza. I can really spin a pizza. We used to toss the pizzas to each other behind the big glass at Pappy's. They had a big glass that the people in the restaurant could watch the pizzas being made. But my job at Phillips was much more mind-numbing, shucking corn every day and then working my way into the kitchen as a puller, the person who pulls out the things to put together what that person is going to have on their plate. And then working to what they call a flat topper, would work the tiny little skillets making crab Norfolk and things like that. And then finally graduating to a fry cook there and a fry. If the cough don't carry it off the coffin, yeah, it was in her. You should do a pizza. I do have a pizza cooking video, and Amy. Just put pizza into my search box and you'll probably see 2 or 3 times over the years when I have made pizza here on the Rancho. There's not much when you've been on almost 7 years. It'll be January 3rd. There's not a lot of things I haven't done on on the channel. Yes, I do. I think it was one was made for Berg's, actually, a pizza on there. What's up, Greg? How you doing today? So let's get everybody fired up a little bit. You know what's coming. Here we go. Let's get everybody fired up a little bit. Everybody seems kind of tired today, huh?
When you Baltimore Clippers
When you Clippers from Baltimore fight, you Baltimore Clippers. It's all fight for Baltimore score. Defensemen, forwards, and goalies will win without a doubt. For Baltimore and Maryland, every Clipper fan will shout, fight, fight, fight. When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers. Get your popcorn and hot dogs ready. Half step. That was a day when teams had a theme song, you know. Every time they'd score a goal, that arena would be rocking. AHL hockey. Let's get ready. Take it up another half step. Now you're really rocking. When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers and score, score, score. Man, that was the days before any of you guys were even born back in the 1960s and early 70s. Those were the days. I mean, society was pretty wild back then, you know, closing out the Vietnam War, and you had busing and school integration, and really, I think at that point the country started kind of taking a turn for the worse there. There was so much social upheaval and change at that time, but I think people get along better now. Hey, Spanky Bunny, yo, for real, did something happen? Yeah, Bergs happened. Got Bergs. Oh, he's out there working on the rig. Bunny's like, I'm 82. Honey, I've seen you before. You're nowhere near 82. Yeah, the whole street. That's my earliest memory. Yeah, I'm wearing a pearl necklace, huh? Shoot and score. This shirt's too confining, you know. Oh man, it's my earliest memory was watching John F. Kennedy's funeral in 1963 on a small, crappy black and white TV. And the thing that I remember most was how weird it was to see a horse going down the street, the empty saddle with the boots backwards in the stirrups. I thought, man, that is one strange sight there. Linda says, I enjoyed your Vegas lives. Thank you very much. They were great. Kathy Rebuilds, always honored to see you in here. I hope that you are doing well. So it's amazing the things that you remember from your youngest days. Happy Tuesday, Amy. And it was a joy to watch in real time the moon landing in July of 1969. That was cool. I remember all the trauma of the riots in when the Kennedy was shot and Martin Luther King, and the city of Baltimore was in flames and things. It was a tough time. Spanky Chooches, I like that name. Born in 79. I got a lot of years on you, honey. I was just getting ready. I was just getting my high school diploma. do, 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 do. My high school was so sterile. It had one of the first computers. They had I went to an engineering high school, and they had a huge digital equipment corporation mainframe in its own little room with the air conditioned behind the partition, and you would look at people would come in and just look at that. Ooh, it was the first high school in Baltimore with a really high power computer, and I remember sitting there and doing punch cards, and you had to do about 60 punch cards to add 2 plus 2 together, and then you fed the punch cards into the machine. And I remember saying to myself at that time, there's absolutely no future in this computer thing. I thought, what's the point? I declared that computers were just a fad that would soon fade away. Let's see. Is Sean in here? Good afternoon, Sean. Computer processing. I couldn't stand that. It was too much work to do the punch cards and all that stuff. And I got turned off to computers. It wasn't until I had an Apple IIe in, I guess, 1988 or something like that. I had that. Yeah, IBM cards, punch cards, and you would sit at a keyboard and punch them. And I also took typing in junior high from Miss Pamela Jackson. Put your fingers on the home keys. Hence, I'm a one finger typer. I was born in '69. Next year, I'm half a century old. Well, that's something, Vanessa, and you're still lovely. Well, think of how many decades I've lived in: 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, thousands, tens, and now into the teen. What is that? 8 decades? Try that on for size, huh? Hey, how you doing, Dawn? I remember the typing. Put your hands on the home keys. Miss Pamela Jackson. How you doing? What's up, Darren? How you doing? I don't know. I don't think my mods block a lot of people on here. Put your hands on the home keys. How you doing, Shay Shay? Good afternoon or good morning to you. Yeah, I remember taking typing, and I couldn't stand that. All the other guys would be typing away, and I'm dicking off in the back of the classroom. My next travels, I know what I want to do after Thanksgiving. Missy, Jen, and I traditionally take a trip up to Reno the weekend after Thanksgiving weekend, and that's always a lot of fun. Um, I'm looking forward to doing that with Missy Jen. It's a tradition of ours. I know I get out there chooching at nighttime at 17 degrees and everything. It can be brutal. You remember doing typing? Yeah. And other travel plans. I guess Marshall and I will try boondocking around some of the other cities in the area. He really hasn't seen anything yet here. We've been going at this pretty hard here. There's a lot of really cool towns around here, and he hasn't seen anything of Santa Rosa whatsoever so far. So they'll be like little overnight boondocking uh, trips, and then down to Point Reyes Station and places like that. I'd like him to experience the Pacific Coast and have a total change of experience of sights and the beauty of the wild California coast here. We fun. Reno, yeah, Reno is a lot of fun if you just go for a couple nights, and I enjoy taking Missy Jen, and she enjoys that travel, get a nice hotel, and she's very happy. Normally, I would boondock it, but you know, I am right in the middle, Kathy, of wine country here. Kathy says, "Are you near all the vineyards?" We have two super premium counties for wine in the United States. You have Napa County, and then you have Sonoma County, and you have some of the most famous and storied vineyards in America, from Corbel Champagne Cellars, which we'll go out and do. You can see that on my channel if you just put Corbel, Korbel, into the search box. I've gone out with Missy Jen and Tara. I've gone out there a few times. Kendall Jackson wineries. There's so many out here that are out here. So we have a joke though that Napa is for auto parts, Sonoma is for wine. So there's always this little kind of back and forth about in the counties here. Evil says, Rosie, you have a massive garden. Why not grow your own veggies? We do grow tomatoes. This is the first year we've not, and I usually canned 5 to 6 gallons of tomato sauce. I put up my own sauce here on the rancho. We decided to let the boxes rest this year, our planter boxes. And to be quite honest with you, I really am mainly on the road in the summertime now. And I don't want to burden Missy Jen. Doesn't get enough enjoyment out of gardening and doing all that. I mean, it's a big piece of land here that I own, and it also, it's always kind of under pressure from developers. Like I said before, I think that if the land was bought, they would probably bulldoze it, clear all the property, and just make it into an apartment house here. I see you, Vicky. Sorry, I missed you. Yeah, just if I do a garden, it falls to Missy Jen when I'm not here, and she's not down with that, and I don't want to put any burden on her. Just another job being lost in America. I'm glad you're still talented to do that. Yeah, like Celeste out there. So, what's up, Oda May? How are you, sweetheart? Nice to see you. So that's the reason I don't do a garden here. I don't know. I might sublease it to J.K. NoCal, and he can do his own kind of farming back there. So. What I really wanted to do was put an enormous addition onto the rancho here, to take back the house all the way back to the back of the planter boxes, and have a little courtyard here, like a compound, and have a much bigger kitchen, a full family, a master bedroom and bathroom and have big sheet glass walls there overlooking the garden out back. Maple syrup is what, Elvis? Yeah, I like maple syrup, but it's so expensive, so expensive. Welcome back, Missy Jan. Buenos días, señorita. ¿Cómo estás? Huh? Muy bien. Do 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 do. Fan mail from a flounder. Okay, good deal. Rosie O'Kelly. Rancho de Rosie and Jen. There we go. So, I'm eating all your restaurants in Cheyenne. I'm following your choo-choo. Cheyenne was a great place. I can't wait. Hey, Sister Earth, how are you? I can't wait to go back and see Spanky and Alpine Gulch again and be a little more relaxed about Cheyenne. Cheyenne will always be known to me as the place where after journeying, 9,000 miles at that point, I lost my keys to the van, and that consumed my mind for the next 2 days. Alpine Gulch was kind enough to put me up and let my vehicle be towed to her property, waiting on the keys that Missy Jen had to send out to me. Now, as you know, at Planet Hollywood, at Planet Fitness, they returned my keys from Cheyenne, Wyoming. So. Cheyenne is a really cool place. It's really Western themed. I happened to be down there during Cheyenne Frontier Days, which the city was packed. And when I got out of the van to meet Alpine Gulch at about 6 p.m. in Cheyenne, I remember thinking to myself, I got the best parking spot. I really lucked out. I was right on Capitol Avenue in Cheyenne. And on one end of Capitol Avenue is the State House building, and the other end is the train depot. Well, I didn't know that there would be a parade the next day. And when I could not move my van off of Capitol Avenue, I suddenly thought to myself, this is really a terrible situation because the parade's going to come by here tomorrow. And I called the Cheyenne police and I said, you know what, my van, I lost my keys. And is it okay if I leave my van on the street? And she's like, honey, unless you can throw a lasso or ride standing up on a horse or some kind of trick out there on the street on top of your van, that van's got to be off of that street by 10 a.m. in the 10 a.m. in the morning. So my great parking spot turned into a nightmare. Nonetheless, Spanky Ham, amazing person out there. I would love to spend some more time with Spanky. Spanky mentioned Laramie, Wyoming. If you want the really deep core Western experience, then Laramie, Wyoming is where it is. Also, Alpine Gulch, I would like to take time to repay her hospitality too. I know we hit a couple places. They had a fantastic Chinese restaurant there in Cheyenne. It absolutely blew me away. So we shall see. I have on the title here international travel, and it's something that is very near and dear to my heart. Hey, Harvey, precisely because I spent a lot of time overseas, all over Asia, and especially in the early 1990s out there, and that was a pretty wild time because Tiananmen Square had gone down, and I was one of the first Westerners to be allowed into China, and they started granting joint venture licenses in banking and things like that. So I spent a lot of time in Hong Kong and Taiwan and Manila in the Philippines and in all over China. Like I say, I've seen 10 times more of China than I've seen of America here. So I think it might be interesting to go over to Hong Kong and sort of take people through those years and years that I lived over in that area and all the ins and outs and all the goods and the hoods, the things that I'm famous for, and put that onto a Chinese background there. I think that would be a lot of fun. Is 180 in here? I was listening to 180's Hangout. Yeah, 180. How you doing, 180? Nice to see you. I was listening to your Hangout. It ended too soon yesterday. I was going to pop on and say hi to you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think that would be interesting to.
We just had a shooting in front of the school here.
We had a confirmed shooting,
Yeah.
or we had because I know Ridgeway's under lockdown. So.
Yeah, we had.
So we did have a shooting here at a school in Santa Rosa.
The school.
Okay. Well, you can expect to see us on the national news tonight.
One person is receiving medical treatment.
One person's getting medical treatment. As Marshall has found out, this town is no joke when it comes to. This is a big city here, Santa Rosa. There's 200,000 people in here, and it's a good sized city, and it's got all the big city problems with a small town minded government here. So, shot in the belly. Okay. Yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, going to Hong Kong, I think would be fantastic. You got to make sure you're there before, say, May or June, or it just turns into a miserable, hot, sweaty place. But riding the tram system and showing going on the Star Ferry between Kowloon and Hong Kong Island, going to some of the outer islands where, Llama Island, where you take a boat out and you pass all these seafood vendors and you actually pick out the seafood that you want for dinner. They put that in a bag and they send it into the restaurant to be cooked up. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do that. Um, there's a lot of unknown things. One of the things that shocked me most about Hong Kong was that their funerals in Hong Kong were exactly modeled after the New Orleans funerals, where the drivers and the guys walking along next to the hearses would be dressed in uniforms of the funeral home there, and they would be playing musical instruments going down. But it was a weird experience. I know, Jen's like, it was crazy. Yeah, it's like a parade, and I never knew that was. You can look up North Point Funeral Home in Hong Kong, and I think, what is it, Jen? Are we under invasion?
The curtain is open.
The curtain is open. Let's see, Princess. Let's see. Anyway, I would like to do that, to go over there and spend a couple weeks over in that area. I think it would be fantastic. Yeah, things are a little unsettled right now. You have Hong Kong, which came out under British rule in 1997 to Chinese rule, and it's hard to it's hard to square those two systems, and there's always going to be conflict about government and things like that, and freedoms. I'm not in a carry zone. No, our police departments here, our sheriff's department, and our Santa Rosa City Police refused to issue permits, even though the appeals court here said that they had to issue if people had a reasonable reason to have a weapon. But they said, well, that's fine, but they didn't tell us how long what the wait would be for issuing a permit. So we're just going to sit on these applications forever on the desk. Hey, Sean, you need to move to a decent county. I mean, actually, I love Sonoma County here. I love it. I get the marine influence. I get nature's air conditioning. I love it out here. How you doing, Yasmin? Nice to see you. Hey, Kiwana. Yeah, the sheriff is communist. That's socialist. So they're just, and so is the chief of police for Santa Rosa. Hey, Edith, how are you? Let's see. Kelly Gruber said he wants to hang out when you get to Texas. That would be great. I can't wait to get down to Texas. I love the state of Texas. It's probably my number 2 state for subscribers is in Texas. Other than that, tomorrow is going to be a big day. I'm looking forward to putting up the Halloween decorations. Mrs. Jen and I talked about, what did we talk about, Jen? Doing a pumpkin patch?
Pumpkin patch.
Yeah, maybe taking Marshall out to a
We'll take him out there.
pumpkin patch, and
His first pumpkin.
yeah, get him like some holiday, get him out of the groove of
He's never done that probably.
everyday life. I doubt he's ever been to a pumpkin patch.
Introduce him to that.
Yeah.
Get him into like a family tradition.
Yeah, just get him into more of an atmosphere where people are having, gathering and having fun and that kind of stuff, and
Show him some that
pick up some pumpkins, carve some pumpkins, and yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Someone's never done before.
Oh, absolutely, Kiwana. I loved San Antonio. Was incredible to me. Had some of the most beautiful people I've seen in the country, especially the Mexican Americans. They had that, they were more Spanish type of lineage, and they looked like, the ladies looked like they had porcelain skin. It was amazing to me. Yeah, on that. Yeah, so I loved it. You have to make Elbows Van more street accessible. I'm not quite sure what that means. Like, oh, you mean in case of a drive-by? Sean's chopping at the bit. Well, yeah, I will come back to Canada, Linda. I will come up through Toronto again. I will come up through probably. I would like to see Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I would probably come up through Detroit again, and then cross over to Toronto, and then make my way east to Montreal and Quebec. They're two very fascinating cities. Uh, I'm not sure. Rosie kills me to hear Little Rascal's wheels were screeching onto lift. I'm not quite sure what that means, Shay Shay. Yeah, Cuba. Now we're kind of banned from going to Cuba. I don't have too much interest in Cuba. I have more interest in South America, Colombia, Peru, Chile, Argentina, in those countries. Yes, I will go to Andrew's home base up in Vancouver, Washington State, up that way. Yes, that would be cool. Could you see me chooching with birds? Let me tell you. Throw the fish in a silver bikini up and throw the fish in Pike Market there. Throw the salmon. Would love to come to meet you when you come to Toronto. Oh, I will. I was in Toronto, Scott, as you know. I spent a couple weeks there. I had a magnificent time. I was lucky enough to be there during the Pride Festival. Uh, just everything about Toronto was amazing to me. The people were outstanding. The food scene was incredible. The Tim Hortons coffee just blew me away. The whole Tim Hortons experience. There's so many great things about Toronto. I remember going over to Paulson's Pier and standing there and looking back at the skyline of Toronto was magnificent with the CN Tower. And that became a trademark thing that we would do. We had the skyline of Chicago at night, the skyline of Toronto, and then I can't remember the last one that we did. We got it. We grabbed another skyline too there. Oh, my goodness, Toronto. If you can't, the people are amazing. The architecture of the city. I guess it was called Andersonville over there near Big Chinatown. Just incredible place to be. Skywalk on top of the sea. We tried to go up to the CN Tower, but it was closed for some private event or something, which I don't really, I don't like that. The last night at the hotel, they closed off the back part, the gaming area, and the hangout place with the DJs for a private event. But I guess money trumps all. So, New Brunswick, no, out on the maritime provinces is outstanding out there, and all those places I like to see. I friggin' love Canada. Not only did I work for the Royal Bank of Canada, but I spent a lot of time in Toronto at that time, so it was nice to go back and check out. You can see the streams, the Royal York Hotel where I used to stay across from the train station, and also next door to the Royal Bank of Canada Tower there. So, and yes, such outstanding memories of Canada. Yeah, I've been to Vancouver, but just to change planes there. So I would go back to Canada in a heartbeat. I would love to see. I've never seen Quebec. I've been to Montreal once, and Montreal left an incredible impression on me. And it looks like it'd be a cool place to boondock and hang out there. Trudeau's got in again, I think. Yeah. Now exploring Mexico is a little more. When you cross the border into Mexico, that really is. a different kind of world down there. That's the border that you cross that you feel like you're really going into another country, and there's a lot of interesting things there. So, hello, Paul David. Yeah, you are very nice. I think Canadians have this distinction that everybody in the world likes. I don't know anybody that dislikes Canadians. And I remember when in the 1970s, when the Vietnam War was winding down, and Americans would go traveling, young people in backpacks and things. They would get quite a bit of abuse sometimes for being Americans, and a lot of them took to putting on Canadian patches, Canadian flags, and saying I'm from Canada. Yeah, I loved Montreal. I remember they had a wonderful place called Le Vieux Munich that was a German type of beer hall with Oompa bands and multi levels with balconies looking over, and it was an incredible place. And I also remember uh, St. Joseph's Oratory in Montreal, which also struck me, a huge Catholic church there. And inside, it was a pilgrimage place for healing and things. And inside, when you would look on the walls of the cathedral, there would be hundreds and hundreds of crutches and canes and things hanging on the wall there from people that had miraculous interventions and things. And that was really something for me to see that the whole city. You like Missy Jen's new Canadian T-shirt? Looks good on her. I can't come back empty-handed, right? For Missy Jen, or what do we say in Chinese, Jen? Kung so, empty-handed. I'm gradually teaching my Missy Jen Chinese here. Kung so, ni lai de kung so. You came empty-handed. Bu hao isa, bu hao isa. Not good, not good. Yeah, so that was a good thing to see. So Missy Jen's doing well here on the rancho. She's recovering well um, from her infusion. She's looking great. She's a ball of energy, but she just can't overdo it. And I'm always telling Jen, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. As you guys saw yesterday, the van build, I'm going to put up another video. Nighttime was a bad time to see the final result of that, so I'll put up a daytime video that shows on the Lisa Marie the placement of the new false door on there, and what that does for the inside of the coach. Meanwhile, all that butyl tape has to be cut back and cleaned up around. Yeah, Missy Jen is doing fantastical here. So then we'll get into the deeper. The van basically has to be gutted now. As far as the weather's concerned, we have sunny days as far as the eye can see here, which is good. I took French in high school too, with Miss Elaine Ominsky. It was a nightmare. You know, the ironic thing is I always disliked studying language in high school, and in college I took Spanish, and I ended up speaking Chinese, which is pretty weird when you think about it. Although I never was in a formal classroom learning Chinese and things. So yeah, so she's doing good. The weather's spectacular. It's going to be about 90 degrees over the next five days. Yeah, I am French. Yeah, I can't wait to sample the cuisines of Montreal up there. The French cooking, the little shops, the mom and pop places. I think that's fantastic. My world in OKC. Nice to see you, sweetie. And I always enjoy all your emails. The Shine Shack smelled like a damn Tyson chicken processing plant. The only thing I object to that stinks a lot is that when you get the extra spicy chorizo in there, and my God, that stinks to high heaven in there. Celeste says it was so weird, Rosie. Never met a French person around here. Spanish would have been more helpful to us. Yeah, I think most people were taking Spanish. It was the language of culture. You were cultured if you spoke Spanish. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Linda. I think I'm just going to have an adult themed hangout on the Rosie McNamara. I'm going to save that for Friday. I'm going to do some Halloween themed baking on Friday night. I hope to have all the decorations up and have some fun doing that. Yeah, school shooting in Santa Rosa. I've heard it's another day in paradise here. I've always called this the most dangerous city in America to live between wildfires, earthquakes, or gangbangers. One of those things is going to get you in this city. My neighbors cook kimchi, stinks the whole street up. Yeah, the kimchi, especially after you're fermented, so on there. Take him down to the Vietnamese grocery store. Well, he'll discover that. Yeah, shooting madness. We have quite a few gangbangers in town here. By birthdays, your birthday's on the 29th of October, Kawana. Kawana, is that correct? The 29th of October. And this is I gotta just shout out Kawana again, and also Celeste. Celeste does a lot of videos and stuff too on here, and she'll put her. Somebody put a link to Celeste's channel on here. But Kiwana, I think that you're going to be a big star on YouTube. Your presentations, your cooking, your style, your beauty. I think that you're going to be really a person to keep an eye on YouTube here. Yes, ma'am. October 29th. There you go. You were born on the anniversary of the great stock market crash of 1929. Let's see. Sarita says, I wasn't there, by the way. I have to order an RV gutter on and combo rail or back one up before. They're expensive. They're expensive. Yeah, I like Kiwana too. She's so pleasant to listen to. She's so beautiful, and the food that she throws down is amazing. Celeste's gonna be cooking up squirrels and gravy. Yeah, there you go. Ho, 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 ho. Count me in. Count me in. That would be awesome. I enjoy cooking channels. I enjoy Nicole's cooking channel on here, which is also great. She's really mastered Korean food, and she does a wonderful job of her presentations. My long-standing here friend on the channel, Nicole G. So she does a good job. If anybody else does cooking, just shout it out, put it out there. Oh, it's deer season and fish, of course. Which reminds me, we have the combo crab and fishing, deep sea fishing trip coming up in early November with the boss and Janet. And ain't it going to be a hoot to see the boss and Janet and see the boss and Janet finally meet Marshall? Isn't that going to be an event to remember? I'm doing good, Trish. How you doing, sweetheart? And I think Dish with Trish, my pal out of the Low Country Carolinas there, she's doing cooking too coming up, and make sure to sub her up. Dish with Trish. It's also my hope that Trish gets back to doing hangouts too, because I thought that she was a great person. Not sure what came up on there. My Streamlabs is out of control here. Did something come up on the screen? I don't know. How you doing, hipster? How you doing, babe? Nice to see you. The boss won't take his. Well, the boss is pretty. Boss is quiet. You know what I mean? But you never really know what the boss is thinking. He's a man of few words. So But Janet's a woman of many words, and she will have much to say. She will have much to say, I'm sure. Because to be honest, she's one of Marshall's biggest trolls on YouTube. So we'll see how that plays out. How's the van coming along, Krusty Panda? The van is coming along pretty darn good. Taking our time little by little, um, making sure that things are done properly and with a high degree of safety. Like I told you yesterday, there ain't no way that you can just take a drill and start drilling the holes in the bottom of a coach without understanding what's underneath of it. That's a good way to die in real short order in a massive explosion here. Patriots look awesome this year. Don't see anybody. I want to see the Patriots play the San Francisco 49ers. Then I'll declare the Patriots awesome this year. Let's see. Janet Fields, my best friend since 2008 here on the interwebs. Yeah, the carpet's got to come out. The whole thing has got to be sanitized, and leaks have to be all addressed. And there's a lot of to put new flooring down, marine grade, American grown marine plywood down, and take it from there. Hey, Anna Hitchcock, I'm hoping that you're hanging in there, honey, as she battles, unfortunately, a battle with cancer here, and we love you, Anna. No, he does a lot of work, Scott Clark. He does the material runs, which I can't stand going to get materials midway through something. And he works very hard. You know, the thing about Marshall is if you really have a passion for something, then you will work your hind end off for that. And he is very motivated on this and very keyed in and doing a lot of work on this van build. Um, oh, thank you, Scottish. There's another Texas gal I can't wait to see. She's the cutest little rosebud that Texas ever knew. You can talk about your Clementine, you can keep your Sara Lee, but the yellow rose of Texas is the only one for me. There's my girl Scottish Saren out there, huh? Send me a dirty message, Scottish. He's very involved in the van build because he's motivated. That's right in his wheelhouse. Camper, Class B camper van, restoring pride in the Lisa Marie. Oh, that's in the wheelhouse, man. That's Johnny on the spot in the AM. What are we going to do today? What are we going to tear out today? I'm so afraid he'll tear out those cabinets and destroy them wholesale when they just need some rebuilding and restructuring. So I've got to keep a real close eye on. Actually, have to put the reins on them and pull back a little bit on there. It gets to be a bit much. Spanky, I love your new avatar. And I love the new name, Spanky Chooches. I like that. Spanky, what you need to do, my friend, and you didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you. You need to get out there with your cell phone camera and get yourself the Streamlabs installed, get it working on your phone, and get out there and show people some more of Cheyenne. Take a ride to Laramie, Wyoming. Do some chooching, brother. Do some restaurant reviews and stuff like that out there. Yeah, getting all buzzy. I mean, if it's a passion of yours, then uh, you're all down with that. I want to make sure that just things go safely and that there's no money for this build. All right, we're operating on a shoestring budget, so that's the reality of it. I'm not griping. I'm never going to ask on behalf of him, but what I'm saying is it's a shoestring budget, so you're going to get the best that can be done on a shoestring budget. And I think he realized at the end of the day what the realities would be, and that's it. So we have to do the best we can, and it actually a lack of funding forces you to be more creative. Just like too many options, too many choices in life, you start to blunt creativity. It's like Ernest Hemingway once said, unlimited freedom is the enemy of creativity. And it's very true in life. When somebody hands you one colored pencil and says, make a piece of art, well, you get awful creative with that one pencil. What year? It is a 1989. I had a 1988. If you want to see my camper van, Little Rascal Once, I have a whole playlist called the Coachman RV, and I have another one called the GMC Motorhome, the Rolling Rancho, the big yellow banana that I had back in the day. Sanitize it. There we go. How you doing, North Shore Towing Manager? How are you? Uh, Yeah, I reckon today is. I reckon he did. Uh, I reckon he did get paid. Celeste said, if I lived in Seattle, I'd show y'all something new every week. Yeah, so I'm hoping Spanky will do something like that. Well, it can look good, Scott Clark. It's been worked hard. These camper vans are not designed to live inside of a camper van. These are recreational vehicles. They're fitted out in terms of durability for occasional use, maybe 1 or 2 weeks in the summer, couple weeks in the fall, otherwise weekend warring. They're not designed to be lived in every day. And as a result, they can become rolling germ factories and things. They're not equipped to do that. That's the reality of it. But it's got good bones. It's got great bones. The van itself is in amazing condition. The coach works for actually having it never washed for years and dirties help preserve the paint actually by shield. It's like wearing sunscreen on that thing. You have to figure out what all around Cheyenne would be a good video. Go some chooching downtown. Go do a restaurant review, Spanky. Um, there's so much beautiful countryside there. Take people down to the train yard and see if you can call down there and see if they'll arrange to take you around and show you around. Can get a visitor pass to look around down there. So you telling us the van putting out well, not funky, but I think it's dangerous. These things don't have great ventilation to them. It's not like Class A, which is a larger interior. These are very compact interiors. And when you're inhaling, exhaling in wintertime, even in my small van, I'll wake up in the morning and see moisture up on the ceiling. Well, you can imagine that repetitively through wintertime and then going into summertime with the heat and the humidity. It almost becomes, in my opinion, a dangerous environment on there. So yeah, video the Wrangler or take a ride out to Laramie, Spanky. That's been cool. Yeah, the Max Air fan. We're gonna stub out. There's no. I don't think there's any budget for a Max Air fan, but the stub out electrical will be there for that. Yes, that is window flashing contractor grade. Once that stuff goes down, it's almost impossible to pull that up. I use that on all the. You can see the videos where I put new windows in the Rancho here. There's a lot of construction and renovation videos here. I've fought huge termite battles. Just doing this floor was a nightmare because of water that had come through the ceiling and stained, and I redid all the hardwood floors here. Yeah, it's a hotbed for respiratory infection. No, it doesn't have a stove fan. I don't think so. And there has to be some element of ventilation, but then again, you don't want the cold to intrude. I mean, it's a lot of different things I could talk about, but I don't want to bore anybody on my thoughts on the van. You know, but you know, it's like of course, the desire is to have solar, but a bank of three or four batteries is lithium batteries are extremely expensive, and then you put a charge controller in and a inverter. You're talking about some serious coin. So yeah, we all want things. We all want things in life, but it doesn't mean that we get them. You know what I'm saying? And my job is to be the person with the pin that bursts the they continuously burst the bubbles. You know. Yeah, wants versus needs, JK. I'm sure you would love to have a 20-acre tract of land in Humboldt County or Mendocino County. You know what I'm saying? It may happen for you, but what I'm saying is we all have a lot of things that we desire in life, but you got to recognize the limitations of this. This thing has almost a zero budget build budget on it. Thank you, Scott. It says, I love how you fabricated a dual panel door for the generator. Love the mesh. Yeah, I'm gonna show that in daylight today because some people said it was too difficult to see at nighttime. I'll do that on the daytime. Yeah, it's gonna require some I've pulled out worse flooring, I'll tell you. The bathroom here in the Casa, when Missy Jen and I go back and look at our video series on creating a roll-in shower bathroom renovation for Missy Jen in June of 2014 through about September. You want to talk about a funky floor underneath of the toilet, that all the wood underneath of the vinyl tiles had all seeped in with liquid. And I ended up having to rebuild the whole floor underneath of there. Oh, you have 20 acres in Lassen. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Ted Mack. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Why is the mesh white? Because silver offsets it very nicely. It looks more of a finished aluminum screening on there. It's more in keeping with the Class B camper vans that you will see out there. They all have, almost all of them have a mesh screening on the side of it. Van build zero budget. Aren't you getting GoFundMe or something? I mean, Faces of the Sun, you've periodically checked his GoFundMe. You know that it's been at the same level for a week or two. So I had no expectations that things would be rocking and rolling. I'm a realistic person. It would be nice, but that's not finance is not my department on this, so I have zero responsibility for that. Nor do I want to be involved in that. I'm just happy for the support that I get on a daily basis. Nice to see you, Jenny. How are you doing? Hey, Michael. Everyone knows what the state of the GoFundMe is. It's a topic of continuous conversation on other chats and things. Yeah, well, you're not going to get a mansion. It is what it's going to be. And I'm, like I said, I'm the person that specializes in bursting the bubbles. Just refresh, Harvey. I'm not buffering on this side, so. Yeah, so it's good to see everybody today. Yeah, a mansion. We'd all like that, all tricked out, and yeah, you can get some stuff cheap. as far as electrical, components now are very cheap, things like that. Yeah, your internet, just refresh on there. Just refresh. Jordan, it is what it is. I got my own money needs here, and he knew that when he came to the rancho that finance is not my department, and he did not object or complain about that at all. I said one thing that I would donate my labor to do this, and that's I'm on target with that. Now, does he get the use of the my van? Yeah, when he's running around for materials. It's the part of doing jobs I hate the most is material acquisition. I can't stand doing that. And when you're a gopher and you start out on a construction site like I did, your first job is just being a gopher and running around. Hey, we need more drywall, blah, 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 go get it, and oh, go get lunch and do this, and it's coffee time. Are you gonna rattle can or do a good paint on the do a good paint? There's only one thing living life that I'm going to do in terms of the painting of the exterior is there's one uh, door handle level stripe on that van that must be repainted. Okay. Other than that, everything is going to be compounded down and buffed out, and I think it's gonna look like a showpiece when that van is done. I don't get involved in a project unless it unless I make it top flight, and where there's no money, there's elbow grease to do that. Thank you, Bill. Hey, Katie, how are you, honey? Yeah, purchased a bottle of Febreze. So I'm looking forward to. Curtains can be washed and all kinds of things. I doubt they ever really have. You still on track for your beach house in San Francisco? I never wanted a beach house in San Francisco because the beach is useless there. It's too cold. All right. The water is like in the mid 50s, or you'll die of hypothermia in July. San Diego is a different story. Yeah, that would be nice. In my super golden years, when I can't do the chooching. Cheryl, how are you, honey? Nice to see you. Always an honor. You're always in Missy Jen's in my thoughts, honey. I have been to the North Carolina coast in June of 2011. I had the pleasure of going to the Outer Banks, Corolla, Kitty Hawk, and it was amazing. Even in late May, the beaches, nobody was on the beaches and stuff. The food was great, the experience. The greatest national monument, what would I call this? The greatest nationally run historical site that I ever saw in my life. And the greatest museum I saw, even apart from the Smithsonian, was the Wright brothers Kitty Hawk uh, museum there in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. I thought it was the greatest arrangement of history that I had seen, and I went into that museum thinking that the Wright brothers were a couple dopey bicycle building dreamers in Ohio, to understanding how much mathematics they used and how much physics in their notebooks. With these guys never went to college, and yet they were using advanced mathematical formulae to drag coefficients and wind tunnel. I came out of there with an appreciation of the Wright brothers. It was phenomenal, all because that museum had all that stuff presented in there. Beryl got a wee infection at Blackpool and a rash. Ooh. Mindy says, hi, Rosie. First in flight, Orville and William Wright. Well, you're correct. And Kitty Hawk's amazing. And they actually have the sand markings where their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh flights were. Yeah, I would love to have a place in San Diego, but I don't want the property market to crash. Then I can afford it, but everybody else is hurt by a drop in prices. How selfish can I be? Okay, see, you have a good one, my girl. Nice to see you on here. Oh, thank you, hippie. I'm feeling good today. Feeling very chipper because it's going to be an easy day for me today. Thank you. OKC, one of my best pals here on YouTube. Fixed my upper RV now. Thank you, Sarita. I really appreciate that, honey. I've gone an hour and 15 minutes and taken up a lot of your time. I will see you tonight. I will do an updated video on the new false door on the van in the daylight, and I will be having a hangout on the Rosie McNamara channel tonight. We'll be having a little adult fun. Marshall will probably be there, so if you don't enjoy it, you've had fair warning on here. Anyway, thank you very much to my wonderful moderators, Kim C, Jen, JK NoCal, Nicole, Tom Finland, One Classy Redhead, Oda May, anybody else I might have left. Thank you very much for being the backbone of these chats. You guys are awesome. Sister Earth, I'm always honored to see you in the chats. Thank you for being here. Spirit's Heart, everybody have a great afternoon. I will see you tonight. Woo.